Randy Cox, 10 o'clock. Oh.
Friday, 10 o'clock tune. It's showtime, the EV Café News.
Oh yes, there we are. There it is, hard and heavy. It's the EV Cafe News with our very own theme tune. And can we just say, Joe Bamba, what a job that was. He's our producer and technical guru, and my lord above, wakey, it's the EV Cafe. What did you reckon to that? That was superb. Loved that.
Very good.
Sam, Sarah, Paul, what do you think?
Oh, it's very exciting.
Very
I mean,
good.
if I'd had hair, I would have swung it about. Sam, where are you when you need? You've had a haircut.
Yes, it's too late. Yeah.
Wow, great piece of work, Joe. Thank you kindly. We're here to zap you with 30 minutes of sustainable transport shenanigans served up with a side of expert-ish analysis. Brought to you in association with those lush peeps at Drax Electric Vehicles, bringing EV solutions to your business. So, today's opinions on a stick are so hot, they'll make your charging cable melt. We're going to go to Sam first, because Sam, you've had a heck of a week.
Yes, isn't every week, but yes, I have. Yeah, no, it's been really good. We had a HGV zero emission heavy goods vehicles demonstrator summit yesterday in Houndsditch in central London, which brought all of the projects together in the HGV world that are funded by this Innovate UK project. And I think whilst the audience is not a barometer for success, the fact that it was in a room with over 300 people with several hundred watching online worldwide to see what's going on in the world of EHDV in the UK, keynoted by Lillian Greenwood as well in the morning, just a testament to the growth of this sector. And I know there were many people in the room who are watchers of our little show here, so thank you to those people who were there as well. But yeah, no, it was a fantastic day that we saw all of the projects, and my one was the first one that started, but the others have very much caught up, which is really positive. So 3 of the 4 projects are doing great. The hydrogen one, it's okay, but the three battery electric ones are doing phenomenally well, and hopefully that will continue to grow and manifest itself into more vehicle orders and more stuff in the ground. We're all digging up the ground now. We're making holes in the ground everywhere across the country to put chargers in, and that's pretty exciting stuff.
Now, I've got Lillian Greenwood on the phone, and Lillian, you were absolutely delighted, weren't you, to meet Sam this week. Tell me about that. Yeah, he was awesome, as always. Yes. Got everything right? Yes. Superstar, indeed. Yes. Lillian, thanks for your time. Right, okay, and Pablo, you had quite a week as well.
I did have quite a week, and actually very in line with everything that's gone on this week. I know we're going to talk later about Milence and their first truck charging depot in Immingham. Obviously, Sam with the ZHID Summit on Thursday, but I was out in Ulm in Germany. What is in Ulm in Germany? Good question, you ask. But it's a factory. An Iveco factory in Germany, so an Italian company in Germany, but anyway, and they make electric trucks. So they've created a dedicated factory there for the development of their truck product, and they're building by hand through 14 different stations, which over the next few weeks we will have some video and about the vehicles and about the customers and the experience. But what a vehicle to drive. Oh my goodness. You know, I didn't drive it. We were driven around the track because it's pre-production, so they didn't let us play with it. But it was incredible. I mean, it was beautifully sunny. It was a perfect few days. But flexibility, innovation, real tech development, you were seeing it all firsthand and being able to talk to the very people doing it. And this just simply, in the words of the users, works for many more applications than it has done before. So there are leaps forward being made and changes from different battery technology to a newer battery technology and so on. And you're seeing all of that come to life before your very eyes. So over the next few weeks, we will see a few clips of that and me talking to a few people that know far more than myself about that good stuff and giving their experience. So yeah, it was great.
Good stuff. So both pushing forward with electric trucks, HGV, good stuff. Sarah, I don't know if you are there and able to speak. You are. How's things?
Good, thanks. I'm in sunny London. Very lovely to be here, celebrating International Women's Day. Just heading down to Piccadilly, where we're going to be hanging out with EVA, BMW Mini, to talk about how, as leaders, we can advance our industry. And I got an award this week. Thank you to
Go on.
Electric Drives.
Oh.
It was all about raising the community and pushing for equity and diversity. So I was very honoured to receive that. Thanks for noticing.
Now then, with it being International Women's Day, really, really important, in the comments, do me a favour, nominate the woman in your business, your industry that you come into contact with who just makes a difference. Let's give them a shout out today. Stick them in the comments. And Sam.
Yes, Sarah's just reminded me something else that we presented yesterday was a female talent initiative, which we've been running as part of the project as well, which is encouraging greater diversity and more women into the transport sector by virtue of loads of educational days. We've done two already at Hitachi and Maritime, I think, were the two sites that we've done so far. So again, trying to encourage greater diversity and more women into the industry. So it's a lovely segue into what Sarah said.
Brilliant. And Paul.
Well, I'm building on that really. So at the CV show, of course, coming up in the not too distant future, we're having a networking lunch dedicated to women in commercial vehicles in particular. And there's some women across commercial vehicles doing some great stuff. I mean, big shout out to somebody that we've interviewed recently, of course, on the EV Café takeaway, Carla Detrue, who will be there. We know about Lorna. We know that there's some great women doing some wonderful things. Naomi Jane Nye. I mean, just quality people. I feel like I should name a whole list of others now, but we don't have time. But some wonderful people doing great stuff, and and worthy of recognition massively.
Absolutely. We don't just walk the talk. We drive the jive. Oh, yes. And women and equality, it matters. I don't know. I just made it up, Sam. Right, now then. Grab your favourite electric powered cuppa and plug in to this week's electrifying news. So here's what's juicing up the headlines. Battery electric vehicles are sprinting out of the gate like they've just had a double shot of espresso laced lithium. Registrations are booming, proving that more and more people are enjoying a silent, clean future. Motability's wallet just did a dramatic faceplant, losing £565 million. Turns out that everyone being mobile ain't cheap, especially when costs are doing the tango. We find out more about the details there. China's EV game has got us all saying, should we be copying their homework? A new report suggests the UK needs a serious dose of Chinese inspiration to get our EV mojo working. We'll be talking about that not only today, but on a webinar that's coming up on the 19th of March. More on that in a second. And the EU is giving automakers a bit of a breather on emissions, whilst UK drivers are carrying the can with an estimated £1,600 petrol premium if the ZEV mandate has a wobble on dates. Basically, it's a confusing mess and your wallet may suffer. But first, it's our newish feature where we recognise innovation, investment and progress. It's the Commercial Clap!
Commercial clap!
The Commercial Clap from the EV Café.
Innovation applauded.
Oh, it's a viewer favourite already. Thank you, Paul. Better late than never. Mylance's first UK charging hub at Able Humber Port, AHP in Immingham, is now open, marking a significant milestone in the transition to electric road transport, as we've been talking about already this morning. Phase 1 of the hub features 4 high-performance CCS chargers powering 8 bays, with amenities including restrooms and vending machines. This is just the beginning. Mylance is committed to expanding its network and building the largest electric truck charging network in Europe. Good work, Mylance, well played. And Cox, more precisely Cox Automotive and DHL Supply Chain, have teamed up to deliver an electric vehicle battery repair and remanufacturing centre aimed at fleet operators and manufacturers. The 35,000 square foot facility, believed to be the largest scale battery management and maintenance operation in the UK, will be housed at DHL's 146,000 square foot EV Centre of Excellence in Rugby. Cox Automotive will provide specialist triage, repair and remanufacturing services at the battery facility through its EV Battery Solutions business. That's awesome. Massive investments. Last week we were talking about a one-man band, the Screenwash King and his little tablets. Doing well, I understand, screenwashking.com. And this week we're talking about massive, tens of millions of pounds of investment in our industry. It's all happening. Right. Shall we get on with the news? That was the EV clap. Blah, 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 blah. That was the commercial clap from the EV Café. Oh dear. Why am I here? Let's move on. Right. 1 in 4 cars registered in February 2025 was an electric vehicle, according to a new separate set of figures from the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders and New Automotive. The data from New Automotive found battery electric vehicles were 25.7% of the market share in February, which is just below the mandated ZEV mandate level of 28%. Separate but similar figures by the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders reflected the findings and found that electrified vehicle uptake also continued to grow, with plug-in hybrids rising 19.3%. Why would you? And hybrid, definitely why would you, up to 7.9%. Battery electric vehicle registrations were up by 41.7% to 21,244 units, securing a brilliant 25.3% market share compared to 17.7% a year ago. It's all good news. Let's go to Sam. Sam, that just fills your heart with joy.
It's good, isn't it? It's good, and it's a trend, and I like trends because that helps give greater comfort that things are moving in the right direction on a consistent basis. I also wonder whether Elon Musk is doing us a favour. He's blowing up rockets and blowing up his reputation, but maybe he's just raising awareness to EVs anyway, and people are going and buying everything else but Teslas. So I wonder whether even though he's got a lot of negative reputation right now, whether he's still helping us by raising awareness for EVs. Who knows? I'm taking positives out of negatives. Maybe that's a good thing.
As Oscar Wilde said, there's no such thing as bad publicity. And I guess we saw that, I think it was last week, we ran a story about Tesla sales being 60% down in Germany, for instance, yet electric vehicle sales had maintained a level. So you're absolutely bang on. Paul, is the same being found in the commercial vehicle space?
No, I suppose in short, that is an area of challenge. There are growth. Well, there is growth. That's pretty poor English on my part.
There are growth.
There are growth in these here parts. There are. There is growth, and it is moving forward, and there are new products coming to market. I do feel that we need to push through a couple of little challenges to see the growth really begin to happen. But I'm hopeful that things like pricing and also the total cost of ownership through with the charging and the balance between public charging and home charging and all that good stuff will get some more focus this year and hopefully break open the future a little bit more.
And that's why the Commercial Vehicle Show is so important to us this year, in that we're demonstrating that electric commercial vehicles can and do a job for massive fleets. We've got speakers from Royal Mail, Openreach, Network Rail, serious fleets who are saying, we make electric work.
Yeah, absolutely. And, from across the guys that have been doing it for a long time, like Ollie Crawn, and people that are coming up with really great answers for the challenges, like John Fairley with AW Energy Group. We're hearing from OEMs, we're hearing from policymakers, and hopefully we'll begin to see the whole ZEV mandate debate and the 4.25 tonne legislation reviews have slowed things a little. I think people are sitting on their hands while this gets sorted out, but I think once that's sorted out we will see acceleration, and that should be in time for getting a really good update opening up from OZEV on day one.
We've got the official decarbonisation theatre at the CV show, and you can come along and hear from these speakers, networking lunches so that you can come and chat to those very, very senior fleet managers. It's an awesome opportunity. And I think we've got 1 or 2 little spaces, and I do mean 1 or 2 spaces left for exhibitors.
Yeah, there's just 4 spaces left of I think about initially 18. But they're good spaces. It's going to be a lot of energy on this thing. The theatre itself is sponsored by Zenith, which is great. Thanks for that. The networking lunch is sponsored by Drax, who are sponsoring, of course, the news. We know there's going to be a lot of energy around, excuse the pun, around the EV Café Village over those few days, with the mix of the speakers, the exhibitors, and all of our friends. We're going to have a fabulous time. I'm really, really excited for it.
Now, Sarah, I haven't come to you. I'm just wondering, are you there? Are you available to speak? You are!
I'm on a line bike, guys, in the park.
So, I think there's a law against this. Get off.
I'm off.
Right, okay, let's do some shout-outs. Sam,
Yay!
your favourite part. Daryl Sharp smashed the doors in at 7:24 this morning. Good grief, my friend. You need a more comfortable bed. Leon Gomez, welcome, my friend. Economy Trucks, great to see you. Gary Comerford. Scott Eadie's got a lot to say this morning. When doesn't he? And it's always a joy. James Hobson, do you remember the Screenwash King? He's back in the house. Bravo the Sun. David Cornish, happy Friday. Evie Loons. Yes, I like that. Michael Barton from Bristol. 7 out of 10 today. Do you know what, mate? That's a really good score. Let's have a quick check. Paul, where are you out of 10?
Oh, I'm exhausted. I've got a bit of a sore throat. I'm a 5-ish, but for that reason.
A 5. Sam, where are you?
9.
Darn! Gee willikers! Mark that on the calendar, people. A 9 for Sam. And
How about
Sarah.
You, John? How about you, John?
Oh, me. Do you know what? Me, start of the week I was probably a 1. End of the week, at least a 9. Because do you know what? There's some times when going gets tough and the tough get going. And all we can do is get it on. Right, okay, let's get back to the shout-outs.
What about Sarah? What's her number?
Well, she's on a bike and I'm a bit scared to ask her. Sarah, what number are you,
Yeah.
Flower?
I'm on a
Go
bike,
on.
so clearly 10.
Oh, yeah. I should have answered for her.
Ron Godfrey, morning. Ian Mayhew, great to see you here from Bournemouth. Ash Bannister, 2 mugs, he's in the house. LinkedIn user. Guess who that is? It's Peter Heath. He's got nice teeth.
Got great teeth.
From PLP, good to see you, my friend Johnny Wright. He's always right. Jazz Cafe, what's that all about? No, we're heavy rock, mate. We are not jazz at all. Matthew Lang from Suffolk, good to see you. George May or George Will? And then he's here. It's DEV Chakravarti. He's also here. Good news. Jennifer Smith. Oh, I love Jennifer Smith. From Schneider Electric. And Teresa Swift. Does the talent keep coming? Yes, it does. Anne Snelson's also here. Stuart Humphrey. Oh, giving him a big hug because he was sending messages this week. Mark Main. You are always welcome. Ben McDonald. Oh, Paul Kirby. Yeah. Scott Fogarty. Now, sorry to have to jump out. Got a call. Who with? I mean, what are you...
How dare you, Scott?
This is the EV Cafe, my friend. Belinda
10:03.
Guy. Rude. But we loved you for coming for those 3 minutes. Is that the longest you have ever lasted, Scott Fogarty? You're not here, so you'll never know I said that. Belinda Guy, good to see you from Fuse. Belinda, you did buy some Screenwash King tablets last week. I know you did. Thank you for that. Tom Middleditch, he's in the house. It's Europe Car. They're here. 15% off if you order through the EV Cafe. Hit us up for a link. Mike Stainton, hello. Sun's out, smiles out. At least the guns aren't out. Lloyd Allen from Bristol, good to see you. Sarah Wellstead, Toby Hiles, Laura Huswick, Wilkes from Power. You'll be with us at the CV show. Jamie Fretwell, he's a big lad, isn't he? He's coming. Sarah Wellstead, very good to see you. And Danita Brewer, Christian Borman. Oh, they're all coming in late, but they're very, very welcome. Jason Barnett, he's got nice hair. Leo Pickford, it made me laugh. Rob Dustin, he's here as well. Oh my lord above. Jim Blair. Now, Jim Blair, lovely to see you, my friend. Doing some great things in our space with Arnold Clark. Lindsay Hetherington. Just a lovely name. Happy International Women's Day. Quite right, my friend Liz Allen. Goodness gracious, award-winning Liz Allen, should I say. And Farshid Hassami. Hello, it's my pleasure to join you. And it is our pleasure to have you. We're going to wrap up with Sarah Gray, who is anything but. Now then, shall we get on?
Quick shout out for Matt Ling, who will also be joining us at the EV Café Theatre, talking with some really powerful public sector other guys, Chris Dimitru and Matt Ralph. So those three are an absolute powerhouse. You can't wait to hear those guys.
Absolutely right.
Also, John, I know you shouted out Ash Bannister already. Presumably, he has a good staircase on your show.
Oh, no.
Anyway, he's put a great LinkedIn post about Tesla drivers rebranding their cars with other brands, which is very funny. So if you see it in the chat, have a look.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've just posted I just let the look on LinkedIn. It's very, very amusing. So thanks for sharing that.
Oh, can I just say, Sam, you have made me smile greatly. Toby Hiles wants to know what brand of coffee I'm drinking. That's just, I'm like this naturally. I used to drink and became just unbearable. 11 years without a drink, almost to the day. Coffee is my vice. And you know what? If that gets me through the day, so be it. Let's get on.
Does that suggest that you're now bearable?
Don't be bloody ridiculous. Anything but. We have 9 minutes and 3 stories. That's Sam, you do the numbers. Is that 3 minutes a story? Give or take? Yeah. Okay, let's go. The UK's biggest fleet, whose explosive growth in June last year was credited with helping car makers through a tricky period, has reported losses of more than £500 million. Oh dear. Now then, Motability Operations, the company behind the Motability charity, buys cars and leases them to people with a qualifying disability allowance for £75.75 per week. And the package includes road tax, servicing, insurance, breakdown cover, and tyre and windscreen repair. Quite frankly, they are the biggest fleet of vehicles in the UK by a country mile, 815,000 vehicles. And despite a 15% rise in the number of people joining the scheme last year, the firm posted a £564.6 million pre-tax loss for 2024, a huge drop from the £748 million profit it recorded in 2023. This is massive news and really shocked me yesterday when I read it. Any sense, Paul, of the reason behind this? Because they talk about the increasing cost of insurance, perhaps. They talk about the increasing cost of repair to especially EVs.
Yeah.
It's scary, isn't it?
Let's be really clear here. They are a not-for-profit organisation. So this is a slightly different kind of balance, and they will have made profits in previous years. But I'm not saying that that's a good thing, right? That they can just quickly go, oh, £500 million, it's okay. But it is the rising cost of insurance and repair and service and maintenance. This won't be residual values yet because they're not into their first cycle of EVs coming off, but they will kind of begin to feel that as well, perhaps for the next year or two. But I think that this company are perfectly able to smooth this out over the years, and they are a pioneering fleet. They are doing so much in the space to drive new technology, new adoption, and to widen the choice and freedom of transport to a greater audience that typically are struggling a little bit. So, we will see lots of positive, but yes, insurance and servicing and all that good stuff.
And I think that's part of the reason why we exist, is that we're not just here to tell you the news that we want you to hear so that everybody claps hands and all goes away singing Kumbaya. This is the real world. A massive organisation backed by HSBC and Barclays Bank recorded £500 million loss. Our industry needs all of the positive and all the support it can get, and we have to be realistic sometimes that the transition is not an easy path to take. And Sam, you know that firsthand better than most.
Yeah, indeed. But the other thing, I hope Paul's right in what he said. I mean, the other thing which was slightly worrying to me is not just the £500 million loss, but it's the £1.3 billion swing from profitability to loss, which is the greatest concern to me. So what happens next, I think, is going to be really interesting, because no one can survive a trend of that nature. So hopefully, as Paul says, that it's recoverable, and they managed to find ways to smooth that out. And it's a big smoothing, isn't it? That's not a little ripple. That is a tremendous swing. So Fingers crossed that they
But
can sort
Ben
it out.
McDonald popped in the comments, 1.1 billion profit in 2022. So
Well,
these are.
that means the trajectory is even steeper.
Yeah, but this is a total change in technology, and I know it's worrying definitely, and that they won't be happy, and they certainly put out a report for these reasons. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it develops over the coming years.
Absolutely will. Right, okay, let's get into some battery technology. An insight report into LFP, lithium iron phosphate battery chemistries, released by the Advanced Propulsion Centre UK, indicates that the UK and European automotive sectors need to look to China's success in the upwards trend of electric vehicle adoption to achieve similar. The secret to China's success lies in the focus of automakers on LFP as a battery chemistry, accounting for 68% of batteries manufactured, with 99% of the heavy-duty vehicle segment turning to LFP batteries. Now then, I've mentioned it before, but you've got this opportunity to join a dedicated webinar on China, and it's called Risk or Opportunity, on the 19th of March with us, the EV Café, to explore this and other areas of Chinese sustainability and the business landscape. So if I can encourage you to register now at evcafe.org/register, because it's really important that we understand. We don't fearmonger, we understand the marketplace, and we're hearing from some real industry experts about what is happening in China and what impact that may have on the European market. Okay, now then, our favourite EU boss lady, Ursula von der Leyen, has decided that maybe, just maybe, the 2025 CO2 targets set and adopted were a tad ambitious for Europe. She's proposing a get-out-of-jail-free-ish card. Basically, if OEMs fail to achieve the 2025 and 2026 targets, they may be able to just work extra hard in 2027 and average things out. Banking and borrowing, she calls it. We call it giving the laggards a snooze button. Don't get too comfy though, the EU Parliament and Member States still need to give this plan a thumbs up. So they're working on just softening things a little. However, there's a cost to that, and delaying the EV, the ZEV mandate, is potentially going to cost drivers more money. It turns out that if you mess with those figures, drivers could be left with an extra $1,600 a year bill if you drive a petrol vehicle over an electric vehicle. There's some recent research from the Energy and Climate Intelligence Unit which crunched the numbers and said that a 2-year delay could mean a whopping 2.7 million fewer second-hand EVs also hitting the streets, because we don't buy them new because businesses think they don't have to, and then ultimately that causes a problem with the used market. Sam, it's vital that we don't water down our commitment to the ZEV mandate and to lose all the progress that we've made thus far.
Yeah, it's not just us, is it, that seem to have a level of what's the right word? Vulnerability? No, not really vulnerability. I've forgotten it. I had it in my head and now it's gone. But changing their minds, and not having a clarity of regulation. And you're right. We need to stick to our guns, get on with it. Watering down just kicks cans down the road. Uncertainty, that was the word I was looking for. I got there in the end. Uncertainty. We're not the only ones that are good at that. And we need certainty, don't we? Everyone needs to know where they are, what they stand for, and what their targets need to be. Every time something like this comes out, everyone just thinks, we'll be all right. Give it a bit longer. And that doesn't help.
No. Paul?
We're not helping ourselves, though, are we? Certainly in the UK. I mean, sticking £600 a year on on road fund licence from April the 1st this year on anybody that happens to have an electric vehicle is moving from £0 to £600. Anybody with over 40 grand, and it's just like, I'm sorry, how does that help the market? It doesn't. It's like a disproportionately punitive action where people are just going to go, well, why am I doing it? Because people need that financial incentive, and a lot of people have moved that way. Companies are going to be paying billions. I need to do some maths to find out how much that's actually going to cost British industry, those changes. So, on the one hand, we make it difficult for ourselves, and then on the other hand, we're going, we're not selling enough electric vehicles. Well, come on, guys, just do the maths. Bring the two together, and actually you might get the kind of movement forward, and it would save all of that money. So, I don't know. I think we're just kind of messing up the balance somehow.
Paul, having seen your maths before, I think we need a spreadsheet from Sam.
I think Paul does raise a point there, which is valid. That it's a big hit, isn't it? £600 a year in road fund license.
Yeah.
But it is. Also
Yeah, and Ben McDonald just asked,
and also can probably afford it. It may have been better to be a little bit more tapered, perhaps. But we've all got to pay. We've all got to pay for the roads. So in some respects, I'm kind of for it. To be honest.
Yeah, but it's a retrospective thing as well. Because to answer Ben's question, no, it's not on just new purchases after April the 1st. The first registration fee perhaps will go up, but anyway, it's not a great thing.
Yeah, and David Cornish's point is a really valid one. Lots of people have noticed this lately, that get your renewal in as early as you possibly can, even if it's not due yet, and you'll get another year for free. So it's a good trick.
It's whether it's leased or not. So I'm going to phone my lease company and see, because we've got 2 leased vehicles. It's going to cost us £1,200 a year, £100 a month just for that fact.
Right, okay, 10:30. We did it, people. If you've got some juicy clean transport gossip or anything really that you fancy throwing our way, hello@evcafe.org. We promise to give it the once over. So until next Friday, when we'll be back with more volts of fun, it's sayonara Sparky from me and beep beep see ya from my colleagues. This has been an EV Cafe production, brought to you this week by the folks who believe sustainability news shouldn't be just like reading a phone book. Other sustainability news services are available. But this is just funner! With a massive thanks to all of our partners and especially Drax Electric Vehicles with the EV Cafe, fueling the clean transport revolution, one hilarious news story at a time. Go forth and enjoy your day and your weekend. May your batteries be full and your adventures epic. Until next Friday, bye!
Bye, well done, John.
Woohoo!
It's funner.